Hey guys, William here. Today you're looking at the Kamen Rider 1 with the Cyclone motorcycle, and this is from the movie, I believe, Kamen Rider the First, and this was brought to you by SIC Volume 46. It was made in 2009, and I was able to find it after scourging all the online shops from Madarake. That's a Japanese used figurine store, and I was able to get it for a really, really good price. I believe it was $60. Whereas if you were to look at eBay or Amazon, you will see that the figure costs around $120 to $140. So for me, this was definitely a really good deal and a rare find. So without further ado, let's introduce you to the figures I've set up here. So let's just have a quick, I guess, shot of the figure. So right now you can see that I posed it with the motorcycle, and it's actually pretty well done. You can see the motorcycle has really nice weathering effect. From the pipes here, you can see that it changed. The color is already all painted on properly, and yeah, it's just a really great bike. Now, obviously, this is not nowhere movie accurate as the ones from SH Figure Art, but it still looks good because SIC took the liberty of actually tweaking the motorcycle itself to give you that little flamboyant look while still staying true to the series. So there you go. This is the side view of the motorcycle, and then you can see the back there. This is die cast. It's pretty heavy because it's die cast on the bottom here. These wheelbase are die cast. The wheel themselves, however, are not die cast, so that's too bad. Uh, there's no suspension on these wheels, not like the one from Play Art. So that's a bummer, but whatever, I can live with it. And this is the side view. You can see the engine pretty well, the detail of the engine, and you can see the Shocker logo here. And going to the front there, you can see the little exhaust detail in between, behind the wheels, over here. And it's pretty cool. You can actually see the radiator inside as well, if you look closely. I don't have the light on properly, but I think you get the idea. It's a really well done, very detailed piece. The front here, again, has no suspension, the wheel, and also it's made of plastic. But it does, however, turn, so that's probably a plus point, I suppose. And moving on to the other side here, you can see that it's got transparent headlights, so you can see. And also, you can see the side here. It's got the bike stand here, which to me, the bike stand is actually a little bit wobbly because it's not enough to keep the bike from moving. So you can see that actually moves back a little bit. So that's a bummer. But if you were to look at the actual bike itself, let me just take it off for now. You can see that it's actually missing some details on the dashboard, which is unfortunate. But I guess given their lack of resource, perhaps. I don't know why they didn't do that. Actually, they did a really nice weathering all around the bike, and then they left out a detail of the dashboard. So that kind of puzzles me, but that's okay. Something I can live with. Of course, this back compartment can be opened, and you could put your Kamen Rider helmet in there, which is actually just a gimmick because if you look at the photo in the back here, let me just quickly show you the case. If you look at the photo here, it shows that you can actually put in the helmet. But that's not really the case because from the accessory, all you get is the human sculpt head and also a Kamen Rider head. So technically, you can't really take out the mask halfway like I thought I could. And you actually have to take the whole head off. So that sucks. Anyways, enough about a motorcycle. Let's look at the figure that comes with it first. This is again true to the movie, or not true to the movie, but this is from the movie Kamen Rider the first. So it's totally different if you guys were expecting an old classic looking Kamen Rider. And yeah, as you can see, it's got a really nice detail on their boots, on the actual overall, the overall sculpt. So you can see that the chest is a lot more pronounced, and you can see the nice weathering effect. Really well painted on this figure. Okay, so that's the belt, the clear jewel in the middle. It's pretty nice. That's the leg here. You can see nice weathering all around. The wrinkles and a little bit of debris on the leg really makes this figure stand out in terms of coloring, and that's what I'd really like to see for the figure like this. And yeah, I guess one thing that's missing is the fact that the foot is not really painted, or like there's no detail on the boot, so that's kind of a bummer. You know, it would have been nice icing on a cake, I suppose, if the boots were more pronounced, but I'm not gonna take marks off it because the rest of the presentation is amazing. Turn of the head here, let me just look over articulation. It goes up and down. There we go. Let me just, hold on, let me just make the camera a little bit taller. So the head itself can go up and down, and you can actually take the head off because that's when you can switch the swap the human head. So you put it back on there. It goes front, goes side to side. It's actually very restricted because of the jacket color. It goes all the way around it, which I think is really cool. I have not seen it done for Kamen Rider 1 before, so I think this is a really nice touch to the costume. And yeah, you can move the head. Actually, it's in two different pieces, so if you hold the neck steady, you can still move somewhat of some motion from the head itself, very slightly, but it is there. So if you look at the arms articulation, it's similar to all the SIC figures, somewhat limited. This is the farthest you can lift off the arm, and that's pretty much it. And the armor gets here. I think because the armor design actually push against the arm, so you can't really lift all that high. So that's pretty much the highest you get. Same with this one, all the way over here. That's all you get. Now let's just look at the hand, I guess. Obviously there's a little joint here for you to rotate, and it's double hinged here, so you get pretty good bending here. For the arms, or the hand, sorry, it's a little ball jointed, so yeah, it rotates. It goes a little bit, but not a lot of articulation. For the leg, let's see, the farthest you can kick is over this way, which is kind of disappointing. This way, it's pretty bad, but you know what? At least you can ride a motorcycle, and that's all that matters. And you kick front pretty high though, so that's like here. I'm sorry if I'm cutting the head off, but I think it'll be easier if you can see what I mean by overall picture. How about that? Okay, and then you can always bend your leg like so, and you can bend the tip over here. So one thing to mention is that there's a ball joint on the heel, so it actually does pivots and rotates, so that's pretty cool. There you go, and you can see the amazing detail on that. You can even see a little bit of the grindy, like a grindy texture on the boots. I don't know if I can show you properly. The camera may not zoom in well. There you go. You can see somewhat of the texture. Very nice, very nicely painted piece, definitely. So in terms of other accessories, because we're pretty much done with articulation. Not that there's that much of to start with. Not much. Sorry, let me just finish up articulation. I was jumping all over the place. Last but not least is the waist articulation. There's actually 3 different pieces. The chest. So there's one between the chest and the torso, and another one from the torso to the belt. So it goes down this much. The furthest goes down. Highest up is like this much. That's it. Side to side, not so much. Not gonna make that much difference. So that there it is. So I'm done with the articulation of the figure. I'm gonna show you the rest of the accessories this figure comes with, apart from the bike itself. So you'll see that I moved the motorcycle away from the picture for now, just because it's not very stable. It falls off very easily. And yeah, it's made of die cast, so I guess that's okay. If you can see here, there's actually another torso here you could put on. So that torso I have on right now is actually for riding motorcycle. So the difference between the torso is the bottom flap. You can see the bottom flap on that other torso to the right is a little bit more raised up. So that means the leg can kick up higher, which means you can reenact the motorcycle pose better. So that looks like this. And you know, I think Bandai could have just stick with the soft rubber on this. Probably would have been work out better, because having to switch the torso left and right is kind of weird. I'll show you guys how it's done anyways in the video, but for the time being I'll just show you guys the other accessories that comes with the figure. So you actually get only 3 set of hand, which is not a lot if you ask me, and I'm gonna just lay them out for you. You got the 2 default fisted hand. Ugh. Stay. There you go. 2 default fisted hand, and you got 2 open pawn hand with Y, which I'm using right now, and you have 1 hand with a little hole in the middle so you can ride motorcycle. That's pretty much it. Not much to write about. There is 2 different type of scarf the Kamen Rider can use. You can either use the tie scarf, which goes straight down like that, or you can use the one I was using earlier, which kind of goes all the way to the back of Kamen Rider. Kind of, I can't really put this on. Give me a sec. There we go. Kind of shows a little bit of a flow here when he's riding a motorcycle, because it's pretty quick and it's cruising. So to change the torso, first I would take the head off and show you guys how to change the head, because you just pop it right back in. Boom. And there you go, the human head. Looks pretty bad, by the way, if you guys haven't noticed. The color is a little bit off. It's actually really pale white compared to the rest of the body, and in the sunlight it just looks like a ghost. Not very accurate to the actor, which is a shame. And his lip is so red, looks like a lipstick. So that's kind of scary. I would not recommend putting a head on at any moment, anytime. It just looks like shit. Anyways, changing torso is a little bit tricky because I had to take apart the figure. So I would just pull. So you see I pull the figure apart. Boom. So this pops off. You see there's actually a ball joint in the middle. And then this is the torso itself. So this is the bottom of the leg. And what you do is you take the belt off, because Bandai is too cheap to give you another one. So there you go. So now it's without belt, right? So you put the belt buckle onto your other henshin belt here, so it looks like that, and then you will pop it back onto the body itself. We're starting with the leg, and you'll put the torso and pop it right back in. Boom, there you go. And that is how you change torso on a Kamen Rider. So I don't know, I just think this whole mechanism is a little bit clunky, and I think if you switch back and forth, it might actually loosen the waist quite a bit. So in the future, it might actually just falls off very easily. So if I were you, if I were a collector, I would just stick with the motorcycle riding hip, because your Kamen Rider looks the best, obviously, when it's with its Kamen Rider bike. So here's the bike itself, and here is the figurine. And that pretty much conclude my, oops, see what I mean by how it falls over? That's what I meant. So anyways, that pretty much conclude my review of the SIC Volume 46 series. And I hope to see you guys next time. Thank you.